You have to ask the right questions to the right people. It would have been difficult for us to understand refugee problems if we were just talking to our colleagues and friends. We in Poland didn't assume that Russia would attack the Ukraine. And even more so, we didn't assume that we'd have within weeks 4.5 million people coming through our country. So this was something that was incredibly dynamic, incredibly emotional, incredibly stressful, but incredibly important. What we really need is to help these people assimilate into Polish society. We managed to create a tool where people could go into smaller towns, smaller cities, smaller areas where they could utilize their knowledge, their profession, in order to not only be useful to the local society, but also to have self-esteem and, on top of that, contribute to the local economy. The tool is more or less data from 4 fundamental sources. One is transactional data. Another one is publicly available data, which was telling us where are the jobs. Also, private company showing us where the jobs are. And the third part, which was incredibly important, was where these people can live and actually what is the cost of living in the area that we were sending them to. Without understanding human nature and finding the real insight, and let's call it the social tension that needs to be resolved, data will be useless. The human has to come with the insight. The human has to ask the right question. So it would have been difficult for us to understand refugee problems if we were just talking to our colleagues and friends. And that's the fundamental role of both the agency and, of course, people working in the data department within MasterCard. One of the things that, again, made it so special is everything that we did is totally in line with MasterCard's philosophy at D&AD, which is based on 2 pillars, among others. First pillar is using data for good, which obviously happened here. And second one is financial inclusion, which also happened here. If we were doing something that was outside of the DNA of the company or the philosophy or the way it functions, it would have been impossible to do it. But because everything came together and we were just basically working on realizing the mission of MasterCard, within such extreme conditions, everything came together and we could make it work in such a short amount of time. MasterCard being in Poland for many, many years and having their ecosystems of partner companies, we just invited the ones that we believe that could perform on the product. Let's call it open source approach to partnerships. App creation, that was done by an outside partner who is actually specialized in such. The role of the media house was also very big in micro-targeting. It's such a modern platform and piece of work and piece of the campaign. Many people in the industry said, well, we don't know if it's a big campaign because we didn't see the campaign because of the fact that it was so well targeted to the people that really needed to use it. So that was one thing. The other thing is once it turned out that it's incredibly helpful, again, word of mouth, because of its usefulness, was something that was recommended by the community itself. 25% of people that decided to stay in Poland used the tool, which is obviously a huge amount because it's over 1.5 million that have stayed during this area. We already did a data-based campaign called When to Shop during COVID. And we use data in order to tell people when it's the best time to go to a shop where you don't have too much traffic. So we've already started working on such executions, which prepared us actually to this incredibly traumatic situation that we found ourselves in. So we were actually battle tested already.